Okay, friends, I'm going to cover about the procedure when you reach SSB. What happens on first day and then till the last day. So whatever I'm going to cover may differ slightly in terms of different selection boards, but more or less it will be same. So on the day of arrival, you are given a place where you are supposed to report, and people from SSB they will send their team to escort you into the place where your SSB is scheduled. Once you reach there, they'll give you a proper briefing, take a complete document check of basic required documents, and that is all written in your call letters. Okay, what all documents needs to be carried for reporting before coming to SSB. Once those documents or basic checks are done, the first test, which is also called phase 1 test, will be conducted. More or less, it is conducted on day 1 itself. And if at all you go and report in the evening, then next day morning. So on phase 1 test, there will be 2-3 tests which are part of phase 1. First is OIR test, which is also verbal and non-verbal tests, and called reasoning tests also. In this test, you will get some questions which have to be finished in a specific time, and based on this, your results will be made, your rating will be given, and followed by a PPDT test, which is a picture perception and discussion test, in which you will be shown a blurred photo image, and based on which you will have to perceive the story and write down your story on a piece of paper, and then followed by discussion in a room where a group will be formed, and you will be discussing your story in the group and arriving at a conclusion as to what could be the final story of the group. Finally, this will be the conclusion of phase 1, wherein the results will be announced, and all those who have qualified for phase 2 will move on to the next stage. Others will go back to their respective places wherever they have come from. So phase 1 test finishes with the phase 1 results. Thereafter, phase 2 starts, and again, as I said, if it starts in the morning itself, then by afternoon, or probably not later than late afternoon, phase 1 will be over. And evening, after some break, your psychological tests may be scheduled, or if not, then on the next day. Psychological tests, as you all must be aware, is a written test which is in the form of your own views on various tests which are conducted, like WAT, which is called word association test, TAT, which is called thematic perception test, your self-description, in which you have to describe about yourself, your parents, your teachers, and your friends, and what do you think about yourself, and what are the changes that you would like to see in yourself. So you are describing yourself in relation to all these things. Also, there will be a word association test, in which you will be shown some words wherein you have to write a line or so on that word. Then also there will be some situation reaction test, in which you will be given situations wherein you have to record your responses based on those situations. Thematic perception test is comprising of 12 stories, in which 11 are shown on a picture base, and 12th is a blank one, which you have to write your own story. So all these are part of your psychological test, which you have to complete within a specific time. Once this is over, you're sent back to your rooms. As per the schedule which has been made for GTO test and interview, you will be informed what is next. And based on that, your GTO tests will be conducted on day 3 or day 2, based on the place or the schedule which SSB has planned. So if you have an interview on that day, probably you will be doing your GTO test on the day 3 or maybe day 4, and there may be a gap in between. And if you happen to have a GTO test, then it extends from 1 day, 1 full day, to 1.5 days. So in which also you will have various tests in the form of physicals, as well as some discussions, group discussions, and group planning exercise, HGT, half group task, full group task, command task, progressive task, PGT, and also your lecturettes. and you will be given some time, and based on those timings, you will have to finish that, apart from individual obstacles, snake race, and some group obstacle races which are also conducted. These are all part of GTO test. Then also you have your interview, which is scheduled in between as per the available time, and interview is mainly kept for a duration of approximately 45 to 50 minutes, but it may be prolonged or may be shortened because of various factors which are effective on that day or probably during your interview. Then there is last day, you will have your conference in which your discussion on whatever assessment has been done by the various assessors will be done, and based on final result, your phase 2 results will be announced. After that, for Air Force candidates, if you have given Air Force as a choice, there is a test called CPSS, which is conducted on the last day after declaration of your phase 2 results. The candidates, if the conference lasts late in the evening, then probably the next day your CPSS test will be conducted, and if time permits, it will be on the same day. And if you happen to be in a place where you are in an army board, then you will be sent to a place wherever CPSS tests are possible, which are normally done in the Air Force selection boards only. So CPSS test, as you all may be aware, is called Computerized Pilot Selection System, which is done once in a lifetime. If you pass, you are passed for lifetime, and if you don't, then it is also your lifetime result, which will be taken into account. So these are all the tests which generally happen during your SSB. If you have any more doubts, you can contact our academy. We will clarify all those doubts which you have in particular, or if you have any small doubt also, you can cross-check with us. We will give you detailed information. Thank you. Bye.